Hello everyone, I'm Rob Smith, this is Smith in the Black channel here at Ticker Talker, and if it's Monday, it's the Power Hour, and this is where we really get stuff done. So if you're brand spanking new here, one of the things you want to do is you want to go to the newsletter section here and subscribe to all the newsletters. There's a lot of good information in there. Everything we do is recorded, so you can go back to, this is going to be like the 41st Power Hour, something like that. And then, some of the people will have, and I'm thinking about starting a newsletter section for some of your faves, and because that way we can, there's a lot of stuff in there that might help cut it, but definitely do that, because that's where all the information is. And also, if you're new, one of the things you want to be able to do is watch the nightly video, not only at night but maybe in the morning before we open, and then the next night after the close, see what we're talking about and what happened. Also, the strat time report that I do during the day, you might want to go look at that and see what we were talking about and what happened. If you can't make it, here's my email, and I've got a bunch of questions to start there. If you can't make it, because everything's recorded, and I want to make sure everybody gets it. Smith on the Black. Oh boy, what a storm I had over the weekend. So it's good to have a bunch of new people, but oh boy. I'm getting to emails and I'm getting to Twitter DMs and all that kind of stuff as fast as I can. So without further ado, so one of the questions I had was about just pointing out things that we traded today or stuff that we were looking at. And if you go to the strat time report from today, it's like, I'm telling you, it's like, I'm telling you exactly what we're looking for, like with the 2-2 reversals come into compound threes and stuff like that, or like here. And so when you look at something like this, I'm going to get to the questions here in just a second, but like this TCBI, this thing's got hammered, right? And what are the things that we look for, right? Once we know something's getting killed, right, up in here, in bright red, right, and potential an outside month, right? Then we wait for the triangle out, which would look like this, I believe, on the 15. Where was it? Oh, right here. Corrective activity, right? In general, it's going down. But then here's your 2-2 reversal back up on the 15-minute. That tells me I'm looking for something, right? I'm looking for a reversal back down because all the other time frames are red. Boom, right here. See you later. 2-2 reversal back down, right? This might be even a good one for the PSAR. Let's take a look. Bonus lessons. Okay. Because I've been swamped. I've got a bunch of stuff that's going to be going into the course as soon as I am not that swamped. But oftentimes people ask me about the parabolic. This might be a good one too. Now, it didn't quite hit it. But one of the things you can look for, let me see if it does it on a 5er or something like a 10er. Now you see this on the 10-minute. So what this does is it just follows whatever direction the price is going, right? And so oftentimes, when we go into exhaustion risk, people can use this as a notice to see where they can stop out. However, this is also an adding machine, and what I mean by that is that we know we want to sell this thing, so we're looking for a buy signal. A buy signal is when the dots are below, and a sell signal is when they're above. So as soon as we get a buy signal, we're looking for a reversal because we know in longer term we want to be short this thing. So right as soon as these two dots kick in, boom, 2 up, 2 down, thing falls apart, and this was below 68.76, and this thing dumped all the way down to here, 64.26 before you had a reversal against you see? So there's a little example of that. Let me get to the questions, and then I'll get to you guys. So I start with the email, and I'll get this off. Making sense so far? All right. So you guys are talking a little bit after. That's good. Okay, so let's go. Email, see. Rob, you mentioned last week about keeping an eye on sectors and subsectors. Can you give an example of how to follow this process? Let's say, for example, either SMH or XLK. Yes, and so in the course, I go through all the ETFs, explaining who's in there. So one thing you'd want to know about XLK, 50% of this thing is Microsoft and Apple. right? That's something you'd want to know about, right? So when you're watching Apple and Microsoft, they'll be telling you what this thing's going to do, right? Another thing with the SMH is that's all semiconductors, and that's all your AVGOs or Intels and all that kind of stuff, and it's more diversified of semiconductors. So what you can do is you can do what I did in the course. You just go to Yahoo Finance and you can put in the symbol of an ETF, and then you can go down and it'll show you who's in there, right? And sometimes it's worthless, sometimes it's very helpful. And knowing all that kind of stuff and keeping up a sector watch list during the day. I mean, I've got all the screens, but I've also got all that stuff up too because, like today, in the last few days, we knew exactly where I was. How many times did I say XLP today? 50 billion. This is where we wanted to be. XLP going up all day, right? And that told us. So here's what we look for. See this? The corrective activity inside pokes down. Right now I'm looking for a buy signal. Pokes down a little bit and then goes green. Boom, this is going to be an outside bar, right? You can't see anything on the screen. Everybody else good? You might have to refresh. I'll give you a second. The screen is black. Anybody else? Okay. Trying to refresh then. There you go. I'll take a sip of water. And I know sometimes I go a little quick, but I'm just trying to get through the emails and then I can slow things down for you. Okay, so yeah, knowing all that what's in there is important, and I'm doing that for you mostly during the day, right? But we want to see where the strength and weakness is, and then that's why even if you miss it, watch the strat time report during the day. But by that time, I've got a pretty good idea what's going on. Right? When you first come here in the morning, I'm talking about a lot of things because I'm trying to figure out what's going on. And then once I do, we know exactly where to go. Right? We knew to go XLP, XLU, and it's not too exciting, but it is what it is, and that's where they were buying, so that's where we go. Next email. Okay. Hey Rob, working full time from home for Microsoft and trying to keep up with your live broadcast. It's my third day. Okay. Um, on the weekends, for some people, they just pick it up like that. And if it takes you a little bit longer, don't worry about that. Right? Once you see it, what I like to call it is like, remember those magic pictures where it'd be a picture of something else, and then when you fix your eyes, you see something else, like a boat or something. It's kind of like that. Once you see it, that's all you see. So on the weekend update, what is the source of all the individual stocks you list? I mean, why do you choose to review those instead of others? Well, I go by sector to tell you what's going on, and then I go by setup, right? Because normally I don't care what it is or what they do. Do we have a price setup that we want to go after? So when I'm going through there, I'm looking for a couple things. I'm looking for a concentration of signals potentially signaling or are already signaling in a specific sector, or if it's everything, right? So that's what I'm doing there and saying, okay, so like last weekend, talk about XLE in the energy sector, right? And so what we just had there was a simultaneous break to the downside, right? And what I mean by that was, here you can see this was in the weekly, the 2 up by taking out the highs, right? And then a 2 down, right? A few weeks ago, almost every oil stock did that. Right? That tells me that they were selling oil stocks across the board. Here's Conoco, right? That tells me institutions are liquidating their oil holdings across the board, or at least to a certain extent, at least for that week, right? So I'm looking for that. And then this week, a lot of things were potentially two down by taking out the lows and going back up, right? So that's what I'm keeping an eye on, and that's what I talked about in there. Much like we had, and the simultaneous breaks are in the course, and that's really what we look for, is a high concentration of signals by different prices, different times, different sectors. And so last Friday, we had a simultaneous break in SMH, semiconductors. That's a 30 here. You'd see this. 2 down, right, by taking out these guys. 2 up, boom, right here, and coming right back to the previous range. Almost everything did that. SWKS, how'd you do, buddy? Yep, boom. LRCX, how'd you do? Boom. That tells me that they were buying semiconductors across the board because they all had the same symbol, or the signal, because price is going to move in the direction of the highest concentration of twos, failed twos going three, and continuity, right? It has to. So the more that we can track that, the more we know we have higher levels of probability. So today, almost every XLP stock was a two up, right? Those are tough to turn around because that tells me that they're buying them across the board, right? They want defensive exposure, saying buy me a bunch of utilities, a bunch of XLP, right? They're not saying just buy me Procter and Gamble. So that increases our probability because we know what they're doing. I see you. And how do I best as a newbie utilize what I'm hearing you say all day? Pick one stock and try and trade it very small until I learn. Stay on the gap list. So I keep this up here. What you're going to see during the day is, look at the first thing I typed in, XLP. XLP, first thing. And so what this does is it helps slows you down. And then you just go to 30 and 60s, 60-minute charts, and just stay on those and look for reversals. That's all you do, right? No matter what I say, no matter what's going on. And then if those are a little slow, I'm okay with you calling an audible when it comes to the strat time report, because by that time I figured it out, right? What did I talk about? XLP. Did it go down the highs? Did, right? So all that kind of stuff. So if you just stay on those and trade the reversals, if you just trade two reversals off 30 and 60s, you'll be fine, right? One can make a very good living. Some days you won't trade at all. It's fine. But it's when you do, right? When you get those big chunkers, right? Because they happen. And I'll get to that. I want to get to the 2-2s and 3-2-2s because I know people are having trouble with magnitude today, but it's very important. It also draws the triangle for you, right? You don't have to draw it, because I get that question all the time too. It's a phenomenon. It's not a pattern, right? The phenomenon is that the price takes out one side and then goes and takes out the other side. That's all you need to know. I use TC2000 plus IB. What scans do you recommend? I build in TC to be ready to trade each weekday. You don't really have to at first. If you go to the Facebook group, the Strat Facebook group, there's tons of scans and all the things you'd ever need. But for the most part, when you're new, most people will tell you don't have to scan. I'm doing it for you, because if you don't already have too much information from the weekend vid, my nightly vid, what I'm saying during the day, and the gappers, and you don't have to scan for anything else. I'll tell you what we're scanning for and what we're looking for, so don't worry about that right now. But if you do want to get those scans, you can go to the Facebook group. They got everything over there. Okay, one more here. And take it from Hayes. He's been with me a very long time. Thank you for generosity. Subscribe a month. Understand a few questions, okay? Ooh, scanning questions. Because I've already got a request for scanning in the course, and I'll get to that. You can continually scan during the day, right? Which one do you use the most? Because there are no reversal algorithms in TC where you take all the formulas. Yeah, like I said, and don't worry about scanning, right? Okay, for example, HGEN. Because my understanding is that you use SPY Qs to verify where the market goes. Okay, so what I'm doing, like I said here, and I think I've already kind of cleared that up. What's up, Jermaine? That I'm scanning to see where this concentration is, right? I'm scanning, so if I see, if I look for, like tomorrow, I'll be looking at anything taking out last week's highs or last week's lows. And like I said, if we had, let's say it's XLE, let's say that these do that from the weekend vid, right? They take this out, right? And everybody's a two up. And I start scanning for the higher week, the two up. And if I notice that it's XLE, Conoco, Chevron, Exxon, I know that we want to focus on the oil sector, right? So that's what I'm scanning for. What's going on constantly, because each time frame is going to reconfirm or negate what we're looking at, right? So what that means is the month starting over. We're ending the month. We're starting a new quarter. I can't stress that enough. And so as we go on, the second week of any month is going to reconfirm or negate what happened the first week, right? Just like the second hour is going to reconfirm or negate the first hour of the day. Tuesday is going to negate or confirm what we knew about Monday. So all that kind of stuff is what I'm following along to helpfully tell you where we want to be. And so let me start with this, and then you guys can start typing in questions if you want right now. I just wanted to touch on this because magnitude is very important. And how far can we expect something to go? And most people have no clue, right? So here, this is a 2 up by taking out the high. 2 down by 2 up, 2 down, boom. The magnitude is this, the bar that was before that 2 up. This and these are going to become an outside bar of that because we know the phenomenon of taking out one side of a range and failing, then goes out and takes out the other side. We know that exists, right? That's what we're looking for. Hopefully you get more. When you add it up with more time frames and stuff like that, hopefully you get more. But that's what you're looking for. And so that's why I'd rather have you be the master of a couple setups than trying to trade the same stock over and over again. I'd rather you'd be the master of the setup, because then you'd see how it plays out. And you don't have to draw the triangle, because oftentimes when you have that, people say, well, I see the top of the triangle, but I don't see the bottom of the triangle. I'm like, you're about to. Bam, comes back through here. So another thing that will stay on is 322s. So here, if you go to TAL on the monthly, outside bar, 2 up, boom, 2-2 reversal back into the old 3. Magnitudes take this out because they're already aggressive enough to sell down, pay up. And if they did it once, they might do it again and again and again. The broadening formation gets bigger, thus the name. So, all right, let me get to you guys. Okay. Nike. Stopped out of all. Baidu was the one that hurt as it took out the month that day and could have made my year. When Baidu went 3 on the hourly, I got triangled. Was playing put, so limited my exposure. Assuming on Baidu should have re-entered the short on the flip or not stopped out until after. So what happened on the flip? Let me see. It's China. It was puking. Baidu. So Baidu, I gotta go back. What was he doing? Baidu, 25th. Boom. So here, and so Baidu opens and messes with him. This is a 3. Boom, 3-2 right here. Right there. That's a 3-2 right there. Oop. I'm sorry, this is a 3-3. That went 3. So you could hit that as soon as that 3, yep, as soon as that went red. Now you're still messing with the day, a little tricky, but let me see if there's anything shorter term. Take this back a bit. Getting triangled out is going to happen. That we know. Ooh. Here you go. Right there in the 15er. Triangle they out. Boom. See you later. Got a little hairy in here. But you also had, this is the 26th. This is the next day. So it was a little quick. Sometimes, sometimes they're just going to rip on you. That's because China was falling apart. SE, say. Here goes gap down to an exhaustion risk. Okay. So SE down here, the 312 up. You tried to get short in here because you weren't taking that day, Red. So if you took this, it worked. You just had to cover on the flip because you weren't weak enough to come down and take any of this stuff out. Nike. Nike gap down on the 25th Momo shooter. That has to go. And after that, then you buy. Then it changes continuity. And we already knew about where it was in the triangle too. Ta-da! Boom. This is where you wanted it. Rev Strat Day, and that was in the video. Okay. Rob, what shall we do when the daily candle is crossing over the top of a broadening formation? Shall we exit now because it is reaching exhaustion level, or should we add more to the position? You can still look to add to it once you get a triangle to add. If you get some corrective activity, and if it's not changing, it's not going to change that monthly, weekly, daily. No way. And that's how you're going to stay in Coke today. Is Coke still good? Still good. Yep. It's exhaustion risk by going into recent highs. Yes, it's still inside month and up. But there's no, when you had these 60s, nope. Any reversal against you on the 60? No. Still good. And that's how we kept in all day, right? Still good. That's still good. And then you got on shorter time frames and be like, ooh, a little triangle, yeah. Take out the high, take out the low, boom, buy me some more Coke, please. All right. But you're going to be aware of when that's occurring. If you get to the top of the triangle, when is that occurring? Is that occurring on a flip? Is that occurring on the new day, new week? Is it over the weekend? All right. So when things occur matters. But you want to be aware of the exhaustion risk. It doesn't mean it's going to reverse. It might just sit there and do nothing. All right. And that's fine. I can hold on to a winner forever. And Koki, take that daily try out a little bit more. There you go, buddy boy. Yes. 2-2 reversal. So here, when it occurs, look at this. Oh, exhaustion risk. New day. Boom. 2-2 back through all these guys, you see? So when things occur matters. And here, 2-2 reversal. 2 up, 2 down. Right? Boom. When this takes out that, it's going to become outside bar of that. You're also coming off the bottom of the triangle. Sometimes they go a little further than you thought, right? When you trade with continuity, things will tend to go further than you thought. Okay. Had many losses on puts today. Futu, DG, Tesla. Tesla's doing nothing. Tesla's stuck, man. Tesla's jammed in here. 3 weeks. Nope. That's why normally you'll hear me going, Tesla, when it's time to trade Tesla. Did you hear me say that at all? Maybe once. But for the most part, no. Nope. And DG. DG. This thing's going 3 on the month. Right? So maybe it starts off a week coming in a little bit, but taking this stuff out, let's go back to our 60. Here's one thing you ain't changing, is this. Right? We're looking for this thing to go outside month, if not compound. Right? So, open the day. Okay, it could be Weisenheimer and go boom. 3-2 down. Then it's got to go. Then inside 30, right back up. Rev Strat 30. Nope. Are you anywhere near going 3 on this as yet on the week? No. Daily, maybe, which was here. But then it was quickly negated right here. That ain't going 3 anymore. And Futu. Futu, you got the red month. You got that going for you, but it opened on the low. It's just You weren't taking that out. And that was some real nice combination stuff there too. The 60 Rev Strat here. Look at this. Did it twice. Inside bar. Pokes down. 1, 2 down. Boom. This thing's going to go take these guys out. Become an outside bar of it. It was huge. And it was triggered by a 30. Here, the inside 30, right, was the delayed rev strat of this. And at the end of the day, you got another one on your 60. Boom. This is all long. Look for those signals that are downside. All right? Monthlies, there's plenty of them. Just running out of month. Iroku's. Inside day. But here, you had your monthly. That tells you to look for your weekly. Inside week last week. Thank you. So just in the wrong house. Trading on the wrong side. Get that fader out of you. And we got a new month on Thursday this week. Is it right to think we're getting another uncoupling on Friday? We're closed on Friday. So because it's on a Thursday and we're closed on Friday, we will uncouple next Tuesday anyway. But we will not be uncoupled on Thursday because the month and the day will be the same. Can you explain what you're saying is what's the next two? What does that create, negate, or do? Yes. So let's go back to your Teslers. So I saw some guys floundering in Benzinga on this on Friday. Hopefully we can go back far enough, but on Friday, where was that? Inside 60 down, right here. You see this? This is directional, right? We're looking to take these guys out, right? You got your higher high. Now we're looking for the lower low. 2, 1, 2 continuation, right? And if you look at the guts of it, just like I showed you in Futu, there's also inside 30 to the downside, all right? I'm sorry, that was down here. Inside 30 to the downside, and that was triggered by this. Here's definitely what you want to look for. Yield combo. That was triggered by RevStrat 15. See that? Inside bar pokes up. Boom. If that works, it's going to hit the 30 guys, and the 30 guys are going to hit the 60 guys, right? We're using participants against each other. And so one of the things we like about the 2-2 reversals, boom, like this, is one of the newer examples everybody's catching on to is it's like a porch collapsing. Everybody who bought Triple D last month goes underwater right here, right? That's something I'd want to know about. Everybody. And so that's why you want to stay on these reversals, right? Nanvax, peak, all right? And so what the next two means is that's why, like, I'm looking at, let's say, the oils, and I just said if it's 2-2 reversal up, we're closer to doing that. Therefore, we're closer to a simultaneous break to the upside, right? Or will something like the Futu, if it fails, create a rev strat? And we can expect that. Like Futu is bright green, right? Now you got that monthly, but you're running out a month. But to start the day, it opened on the lows. So let's say you were trying to fade it here and go 2-1-2-60 cute style, right? You can do that because 60 is a major signal, but it better stay down there. And if you take that, you better be prepared to take this, especially after that thing goes inside 30, right? What will that create? That's going to create rev strat right there, right? And you're going to have the control group of daily, weekly, and 60 going, right? You are, right? Same deal here. You could fade that, but you aren't turning this thing red anytime soon, right? But there's enough movement in there. But if you're going to do that, you better cut it as soon as this thing starts coming up on you, and then take that rev strat with their money. We always want to create winning positions, and we always want to trade with their money, right? Hate trading with my money. And BW. Well, this is something we call a used to be somebody, so it has been a lot higher, right? Problemo is a lot of directional. We could use some reversals. So what I mean by that is you're going straight into the highs. Okay, this is a 2-2 reversal on the weekly, but you hit magnitude because it goes 2 up by taking out the high, 2 down by taking out the low, and then boom, right? Takes all these guys out in one shot, right? So it's into exhaustion risk. It did what it was supposed to do, right? So you prefer it to do this and when this happens. So here's another good example of what's the next 2 will that create negator do, right? 2 down, inside, 2 1 2 reversal. What's the next 2? What will that create negator do? If that works, it goes back up and creates this, the hammer, right? Does. And if that works, it's going to create the potential 2 2 2, and you're already in from here. And then you can look to add when it does that. So it's a little slow up into here. You're just going into exhaustion risk. We could use some corrective activity. And so for newer folks, we've been living in exhaustion risk for a long time when it comes to the S&P. Here, this is a 3-1-2, outside, inside, up, right? And that was November. We've been in exhaustion risk since November, right? This stuff, because we're 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, 2 up, right? We had some high hopes in here. We didn't get it. But things will change when that changes. Trust me, right? When you get something like this, pandemia, reversals, and you want to be ready for that, just like last week when we wanted to be ready. You want to be prepared to know how to trade Disca and Viacom when they're falling apart. You don't get moves like that often, all right? So you definitely want to learn to know how to trade that. And can you tell me specifically what am I looking for and how to get in and why if I log in and see your list each day? Yeah, sure. We're just looking for reversals back in the direction we're looking for. How'd Oracle do? Oracle's a little quick. Any corrective activity? There you go. Here you go. How am I going to get on this? I don't know. 2 up, 2 up, slight 2 down, slight 2 down. Boom! These guys become an outside bar of all that. 2-2 reversal right there in the 15er. Off she went. Full throttle time frame continuity to the upside. Every reason to believe that's going to work. So when the monthly 2-2 Qs go in force, they come back. Where's your stop? Okay, so the Qs tried to puke. Didn't take. It didn't take. Boo. Right, so they did puke. So they went 3-2. So here's how we knew to see this coming. What's the next 2? We had an outside week on the high. Then we knew about this 3-2. And the reason that's important is because I went to the highs and got rejected, right? And came through and went outside. So when it takes this out, that rejection is still occurring. So the outside bar becomes a bigger bar of all these guys. You see? Then when things occur matters. Now you got a new week, right? It starts coming back up. Control group is 60 daily and weekly at that point. I can't identify these sellers are still here, right? They also took out the lows, forming the broadening formation. Then the question was it going to be weak enough to take this baby out, right? We were hoping so, but not so fortunate. So then it comes back up into nothingness, right? And so if you take that break, you just want to be aware of the new week right here, the week flip on the week, right? You can be aware of what's the next 2 on the daily coming back up, right? This kicker right here, that would get my attention. Right here, everybody thought it was the end of the world. You come back up into here, anybody got short in here and here, screwed. Boom, back up she goes. Also, like I said before, looking at the concentration in the Qs of how many of them are doing it, right? It was pretty specific where it was. Your Okta Octas, your Palo Altos, right? MongoDBs, all that kind of stuff was really specific on where it was, because it wasn't much of an SMH, or SMH did go in XLK, but they took a while and they came right back up there real fast. So I'll be in Key West, you bet I will. There'll be a paddle in line. I broke the strat. Ah. Yes, always take the loss. Don't hold anything. Had the best. All right, that's what I like to hear. Best year in the market so far. You only get better at the strat. You don't get worse. You don't get worse. And the good thing about the course is that it's dynamic. So I'm updating it as different things occur. So eventually you'll be able to go, that's that, that's that, that's that. Right now it's just exhaustion risk. Here we go, back to the highs. Exhaustion risk. Here we go, back to the highs, and hunting down that volatility. Give me some IQ puker. There we go. There we go. And then you go here and you say, what do we say? We say triangle the out. Here, two up, bam. These things become an outside bar of all that. Outside 15er pokes its head up. Uh-oh, boom. 2-2 reversal back to old 3. Look out. Uh-oh, what do we wait for? Triangle the out. 2 up. Boom. 2-2 reversal back to previous range. These guys become an outside bar of that, you see? And that's why you can be very successful if you know how to say triangle the out before you jump in your trade. Cheap option Thursday this week, yes. And also, what would you trade to maximize the down move, and would you use puts versus an ETF? Depends on when it occurs and how much you got to pay for those things. Usually what I say is, like, if you get a simultaneous break, that's when you can go to the triples, right? Like if it's energy, go get me some drippy or Nurgu. There you go. Nurgu. Give me a triple, all right? Give me a triple shot of that stuff. Boom. 60 up to 140 in 1 month when you get a nice move. And then what you can do is when you're trading the common or an ETF, once you're profitable and you can see and you still have magnitude, you can take some of those profits and roll it into options, because now you're playing with their money and you know what you're up against, right? So even if you lose, you're still at a profit. But if you're right, Texas hedge time. And for newer folks, the Texas hedge is long calls, long stock, and short puts. And so you always say wait for a reversal to get in. Triangle it out. If you're looking at the 60 for SQ, is all 2 days. So here, SQ on the 60. So SQ a little choppy, didn't really do much. Stayed inside weak so far. Right, went down a little bit. Couldn't really get her going, so there wasn't much to do here. You did have your 2-2 here. 2 up, 2 down on the 60, didn't go. But by that time, it was pretty late in the day, right? We like nice long red and green bars by the end of the day, right? So for newer folks, why I say that, red and green bars tend to get redder and greener, right? That tells you the level of aggression in there. And that's why when you are looking at, when I go through the dailies during the strat time report, I'm looking for long green bars on the day, right? As we get into strat attack on Tuesdays, I'm looking for long red and green bars on the month and the week, right? I want to know where they're really aggressive, right? So as you get to the end of the day, that's why I'll be like, no more inside days, no more of that. We want these things that look like these and these and these. So far, and it's a Monday, so oftentimes we pull back a little bit more on a Monday, right? Because we gain more information as the week goes on. Because the Mondays, they'll come out here and they're going to do whatever they're going to do. But if they're really aggressive, they're going to do it again on Tuesday, right? Or you're going to have a reversal on Tuesday, which traps the Monday crowd. It also changes the continuity. If you have a reversal on Tuesday, it changes that weekly continuity too. So that's why Tuesdays are kind of key. And let's see here. X was a good example of a 2-up daily, which triggered weekly rev. Yeah. Was that in the weekend vid? I think it was. Here's our combo. We were looking at this rev strat weaker. Inside bar, pokes down, 1, 2, boop. Magnitudes to take these guys out and them, which it did. Because on the monthly, we already knew this. The 2-2 reversal on the month above this. 2 down, 2 up. Boom. Now we say triangle day out. Boom. It's going to go take these guys out, which it did. In no short order, I'll have you know. So it's a little quick, but some got it. Rob, when we day trading, is it important to have an outside day as well as full time frame continuity, or is full time frame continuity the only condition we should look at? It doesn't have to be an outside day. It can be a 2-2 reversal, right? 2-2 reversal with continuity and control. Understanding control, because Futu is showing control. Because you want to be able to gauge your magnitude. First of all, that's why I say 2-2s and 3-2-2s. The magnitude's built right in. Where's it going? Up there, right? And so here with Futu, like I said, understanding control is very important. Yes, the monthly is red, but as far as I can tell this week, when these things, the 60 and the daily and the weekly are green, they're overriding that. I can't tell the sellers here, right? Now on the flip, maybe they show up like in here, right? When they start to come in a little bit, maybe, but for the most part, I can't identify it. And unless you can go take this baby red, no, I'm looking buy side on this thing. So it's important to understand not continuity but control, and then magnitude. You got to know how far something's going to go. One of the biggest problems people have is just come in and start grabbing every directional inside bar. You're going to get killed if you do that. And so you can take directional stuff, but like Morgan Stanley here, when I say just stay on the 30-60s and mind the flip, right? So here, it's a gap down, but it's a Monday. Why is that good? It's good because when it starts rallying back, the weekly's green, all right? It is. So then this is your reversal to down inside, right? Back up. 2-1-2 reversal on the 60, and off she goes. This is a 2-1-2 directional because it's a 2 in one direction inside and then 2 directional into short-term exhaustion risk, which you can take for your ad, but then once you mind the flip right here, outski, at least on the ad, right? You're probably not going to take this out, but at least you get out of your ad up in here. And the good thing about RevStrat 60s, like Futu, it takes 3 hours to set up. It has to go up, it has to go inside, it has to drop down. It takes 3 hours. There's no way that you miss that, right? Depending on what you're looking for. And Larry, on your gapper list at the time, what would you have been looking for using DLPN? Are you looking to fill the gap? DLPN here, it wasn't really a gap because it was still inside on the day. So I kind of called that one off. You're not getting out of here, right? So had it gone up and stayed up here, yeah, 2-2 reversal on the daily and stay up there. That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Petered out and came back in. You got mother bar issues. So this thing we just like because it can move around. So anytime you see stuff that's done this, it might do it again, right? And do something like this, right? And this was nice on the way back down. Here you go. How do I get in? 2 up, 2 down 30, right here. Boom. Thanks for playing. These guys become an outside bar of that. Magnitude is going to be on the 2-2 reversal to the upside, whatever the first 2 down was of previous of that, be it 1, 3, or 2, whatever that is, that's going to take that out and become an outside bar because it's a phenomenon. It's not a pattern. And so let's say the Morgan Stanley 2-1-2, we're looking to take this out here. These guys. We're looking to take this out. 2 down, inside, back up. There you go. Bam. Thanks for playing. And so that's why you're going to use all these combined time frames. That's why you get these monthlies and you have these big whoppers. And you're like, nah, yeah, yep, yes. Tree, Here you go. Here's some fun for you. Did we know about these? We sure did. Here goes up. It goes outside by taking out both sides. It goes two down. 3 2 2. Right, and then it goes up and takes these guys out. There's your try there. Then it pukes. Then it goes 2 2 to be the compound three of all this. You see, this is a big move. This is $350 to 200. This is some big moves in here. Now, this thing's not for everybody, but then if you just go to the weekly, you would have seen this here. Where's it going, Rob G? I don't know. 3 2, bam, back to previous range. And so the reason that's important is when you have full time frame continuity back to the previous range like such. Oh, not to mention, how about a nice little inside day for you? Boom, right? Is that people are going to be stopped against where they got in or known pivots, right? And so when we know that everything's red, we also know that the machines are hitting stock. So stops going off removes liquidity, right? It makes it go faster because there's less stock to hit when they try and go after it. Therefore, we like going back through the previous range try like so. And thank you, Mr. Hayes posts some new quarterly and yearly signals in the Facebook group for you. A mother bar is any bar before a 1. So this thing here, inside bar, the previous bar is the mother bar. And if you don't get out of there, it becomes a compound 1. Until you get out of this, because the problem is price discovery oftentimes when it gets inside the mother bar starts over again. And you get the micro tries to chop you up. So it's the bar previous to a 1. And then once that 1 breaks, you better get out of there. Otherwise, you're going to be looking for reversals back and forth. Oracle went into new highs, so you're an exhaustion risk. I'm sorry. No, it didn't. Not quite. So you're still trying to take out these guys here, right? Just short-term exhaustion risk. You took out 2 2 2 on the daily. So you need a little, just waiting for a little triangle out is all they are. See, because a lot of people when they're chasing, will be like, it's 2 2 2 2 2 2. I'm like, hold on, it'll triangle them out. They will. And we're supposed to get out quickly if it doesn't work. Yep. What if it goes sideways for 90 minutes after entry before breaking up or down? Do we still just sit on it for all that time waiting for it to go? Depends. How much more information do you have that should work? Your monthly, weekly, everything's still good, right? You might just be experiencing some micro tries doing nothing. You also might have a guy just sitting there on the bid, not willing to pay up just yet. And as the time goes on, he needs stock, and then he steps up. And for exiting trades, is there a best practice when to use the flip versus a reversal? Yeah, the flip is going to be, do you have like any possibility of this going to mess up your daily, right? Or stop you out, right? So like that Futu, if you got in early enough and this thing's just blasting, you could stomach the flip a little bit, right? Although it's, there's some big movements in here, but like here might have freaked you out just a little bit, right? But if let's say you got this here, there you go, the 2260 off the lows, boom, right there, you could stomach this, right? Because there's no way they taking you out, right? And then you're ready for this. Yeah, how much of their money are you playing with? And is there any chance that this reversal is going to go anywhere near you? Because if it's not, like I showed you in that PSAR, you're just waiting for this baby to rev strat. He's like, profit taken. That's not selling, dude. Unless these guys and these guys completely go away that were totally aggressive, right? We like to play with their money. We like to be stopped, and we like to be nowhere near it. Now, what you can do is you can also take a little bit of profit. You don't have to sell the whole thing, right? You can take some just to protect yourself, make sure you got it, and then once it triggers there, reload with more. Reload with more. I sold 100 shares, and then it takes that. I bought 200 shares. Bam. I get my money back and then some. If it's still good, Jermaine will tell you it's still good. It's still good. That's one of the things that I'm good at. Keeping people in. No mental errors. I see money and I want it. I know you do. Would you like more money? Because you will if you just stay in there. And take the time to get through a lot of the material too, you know. And I can't stress enough. Like, just go watch today's Strat Time report. Boom. Here's the tutu. Here's the tutu. Here's the tutu. Here's that tutu we're looking for. Got my water a little hoarse today, talking a lot. And never be afraid during the day to run the setups by us. That's what I'm here for. I can't teach all day, although today was a little slow, so I could, but you can certainly run the stuff before you do it. Tell us what you're doing, because that's the hardest thing. I can't fix what I don't know is broken. I can fix pretty much anything, but I got to know what's broken. Johnny John, we're looking for Rev Strat Munter. Right, so here, once we start coming back here, inside bar breakdown, then goes green, we're looking to take these guys out, right? So on the weekly, as soon as that thing went here, poked down, started going green last week, yeah, yep, yes. We're going to look to take these guys out at least and set this baby up. You got that right. Momo Hammer Daily, watching XLV and the Dow. This is how you put all together. Johnny John's and XLV, it's also in the Dow. These guys are all going up. Think Johnny John's going down? No. No. That's how you get your tailwinds. And that's why you'll hear me say, because threes exist, exactly. Once you once you fail one side, you start going continuity the other way, that's where it's going. Right? And that's why you'll hear me say when I'm calling stuff out what they might be in. Like Slob Halliburton, OIH, Mini Mines, Dow Jones, right? You'll hear me say that. It reminds you that they're in something that's helping, right? Due to futures cash arbitrage, which means when the futures go, they got to buy those stocks. So that's why that works. And so I know like exhaustion risk can be boring and all this kind of stuff. Things will change, and that's why we search out, different situations that we want. Right? We want those long red pukers and rippers and all that kind of stuff, right? Because you'll see someday when they hit them, and they will. You want to be ready for that. You make your whole life in here, and then walk it right back up. Because if you weren't with us last year, oh boy. Did we know about this? We sure did. Did we know about this? We sure did. Did we know about the new quarter starting right here to start buying? We did. Yep. Yeah, we did. Yep, Lauren? We totally knew about all of that. Great thing is everything I've ever said is recorded. This is when you can ask your guy, hey, how does your system work when the VIX is at 60 or higher? You don't. You don't. Right. And so being able to put everything together, because we're identifying participation groups by price and time, right? So we want to know who's jammed. So last year when this happened, if you weren't around, when this happened, pandemic kicks in, and then the new quarter started here, the first thing we wanted to go after was anybody taking out the March highs. Why? They got what they wanted. The market got slammed, right? W. Get, boy. Look at this 2-2 reversal month. Over 64, bam, 350. Do I have a reversal against me? Nope. Still good. Amazon's. All that kind of fun, right here. Boom. Right here, right here's where they woke up and said, I think this pandemic's kind of good for these guys. Boom. Right? So knowing where to be and when, and that's my job, and knowing where not to be. If you go to the New Trader U articles, right, in the newsletters, read those. There's a checklist in there. We know what winning trades and losing trades look like, right? Winning trades, losing trades. Losing trades are chopped up in a 1, fighting a 2, getting destroyed by a 3, fighting continuity. Winning trades look like this: 2 in your favor, 3 in your favor, continuity in your favor, period. If you go through anything you've ever done, go ahead. You'll see I'm right. You'll see I'm right. Just put the checklist up on your desk. Say, what am I doing here? And say your trades out loud. What am I doing here? Looks good to me. Wrong answer. Right? I'm doing this 2-2 reversal. My magnitude is here. After triangle day out. Get. Here you go. Do we like combos? How's the rare doing? Phew. Here you go. Oh, and you got an inside day today here too. Here you go. Rev strat month, inside month, goes up, boom, falls apart. Then what does it do? I missed it. Wait for him to triangle it out. Inside bar, pokes up, rev strat, boom, stop them out. Stops are here, here, and here. Boom, take them all out. Combo. Yeah, if it sounds dumb out loud, it's dumb, right? And then don't forget to yell at your trades. Tell them to get boy. Idea for tomorrow, we're going to let them open. Because per the vid, we want to see if that defensive posture maintains, the XLP, the XLU. We want to see if these Qs continue to do nothing, if the SMH inside day breaks can produce anything. Hopefully Disca and Viacom and IQ wake up off their inside days, but not betting on that. We also have underperformance because IWM went down when the rest of the market went up. So we have small capper weakness to keep an eye on. We're also looking for potential compound 3 of home builders. They went up and failed as well. And you can throw a little whirlpool in there. Why not? And we're coming into exhaustion. Everything's about to start over again except the year. And if you look at the Qs, they are doing nothing on the year. So that's where I come in. Tomorrow, strat attack. Just like the strat time report during the day, halfway through I get it figured out. Tuesday got a pretty good idea what they're doing, and it's a short week. And for newer folks, we do this every Monday to make sure that you get this. All right. So it's not a one and doneer. It's recorded. And you have my emails if you can't make it. Well, we're coming up in an hour. I think I'll just cut it right here. Welcome. I know we got a lot of new people. We're going to help you along. A lot of new people who've already known some of this stuff, which is good. But it's, yeah. When Rob says let them open, don't be in a rush. And when I say if you've done nothing so far, that's fine. Sometimes I don't figure it out for a while, but once I do, we know exactly where to go. And then you know what to do. 2-2 reversal, back end of time frame Connie. 3-2-2. Where's it going, Rob? Down there. All right. So welcome everybody who's new. I'm going to get this recorded, put in there for you, and we'll see you tomorrow. All right. Everybody have a good night.